Hey guys, it's Kayla. I wanted to share my St. Patty's Day shakers with you guys. I was super excited. It's been a while since I posted because I just got a new craft room and I've been unpacking and all that great stuff. I'm trying to figure out my camera position, so this wasn't the best, but I will figure out the best way to present all of my videos from here on out. I didn't have any acetate, but I had some of this in a roll and I wanted to see if this would actually work. And I know I'm probably not the person that invented it, but it actually does work and I was super excited. So I wanted to share with you guys a different way to make shaker cards. I measured my cardstock enough to fit my green envelopes that I bought. They were just a package of green envelopes and I needed my cardstock to match that. So that's how I sized it up. I ran foam through a Sizzix machine and I used this kind of die cut. I then took some foam glue and I put glue on it. And then on top of that, instead of the acetate, I actually used, I believe it's tulle. I bought it a long time ago and I've just had it in my stash forever and never used it for anything. And it worked perfect for this project. It was really awesome and it stays in place where it's supposed to. I was just super excited. I did have to squish it down with my finger tool because, as you will see here in a minute, if you don't do this process, it will bunch up and it will be bulky and ugly looking like this one. It didn't do it right, so I had to actually squish it down with my finger. I then just cut around it. I didn't do anything perfect with it because it all blended in once I had it on card anyways. And then I put foam all the way around on it. I did use 1/4 inch foam for this project. And then I actually cut it in half to about 1/8 for the top and bottom, because the top and bottom, whenever I cut them, I think it jumped a little bit and it made it a little bit smaller. I did let the foam tape dry a little bit on there before I actually did the rest of the process, just because it was bouncing up everywhere. So I have been making these several at a time because I've been giving it time to dry in between. I've been shaking these things like crazy and it hasn't broken at all, so I am actually super excited that I found that this works, because I have a ton of it to use. So I think I'm going to be using this for all my shaker cards. Once everything was dry, I took the background paper and I added some sequins in there. I did do a sequin mix and I just mixed a little bit of everything that I had from the past. I am trying to use up everything that I have at this point, and that way I can start refreshing my stockpile. I do still have a ton of the sequins left over, so I'm gonna have to figure out another project for these, or maybe even use it up for next year's shaker cards, depending on how well these sells at the craft fair next year. Once I had the sequins all lined in there and kind of flattened out a little bit, I then had to carefully line up the double-sided foam tape that I used with the background. This took a lot of practice. There was a lot of mess ups. I did use foam shamrocks to kind of cover up some of my mess ups on my other cards. I know nothing's going to be perfect, but I am my biggest critic, so I added a little bit of extra stuff on there just to kind of make it prettier and more perfect. Once I had this added to the background and made sure that it stuck, I ended up gluing the background to my card, and then I had a stamped sentiment on a separate piece where I glued it inside the card, and then I shook it like crazy just to make sure that nothing came out of there. I actually have been enjoying making these cards. I have about 25 of them for my craft fair for next year. I'm super excited about this. I have a lot more projects that I'm going to be working with. I think I'm finally done playing around with my St. Patrick's Day stuff. When I get a chance, I might show you everything that I've been making this year for St. Patrick's Day for next year's craft fair. I also had to make my baby's St. Patty's Day book. We do celebrate St. Patty's Day because it is my birthday, and so we do go out every spring break basically, because that's when St. Patrick's Day is, and we go do a lot of fun stuff. So I figured having a memory book just for spring break basically and St. Patrick's Day would be great to have for my baby, and kind of separate out some of the holidays from his normal yearly baby book. If you guys enjoyed this videos, please give me a like and a follow. I do have a lot more videos that will be coming that are like this. I am trying to get a lot of cards ready for this craft fair, or for next year's craft fair, and a lot of different little teacher gifts kind of, and things like that. So I will be doing a lot of different tutorials coming up now that I am finally unpacked in my craft room. Once I get everything cleaned up and sorted like I want it, I will give you a craft room tutorial, or not, well, walk through, I guess you would call it. And now that I know where everything is at, I think I'm going to be able to craft a lot of things a lot quicker now, and actually get a lot of different things for my upcoming craft fairs. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. You guys have a great week, and I will see you next time.